Another Monday, another Joe Lum album review. I've been doing these album reviews way back in October of last year, and I haven't done an Ozzy Osbourne album review yet. Until today. As always, when you're done watching this video, you can go back and watch previous episodes on my album review playlist, which is in the description box. And now, on with the video. In 1979, John Michael Ozzy Osbourne was fired from Black Sabbath due to excessive substance abuse issues. According to Ozzy himself, he stated that his drug and alcohol issues was neither better or worse than the other members, claiming they were all high and drunk themselves. Are you kidding me? After his dismissal from Sabbath, Ozzy spent the next 3 months locking himself away doing cocaine and drinking booze. But Don Arden was determined to get Osbourne signed to his Jet Records label with the aim to record new music. So it was up to Don's daughter Sharon being sent to Los Angeles to look for Ozzy and look after his needs, whatever the fuck they are, in order to protect his investment. It took a while, but Ozzy came around and was determined to get back at his former bandmates, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward, which led to the formation of his own solo band. Under the management of the Ardens, the Blizzard of Ozz was born, featuring a former drummer for Uriah Heep in Lee Kerslake, former Rainbow members Don Airey and Bob Daisley on keyboards and bass respectively, and an American-born guitarist by the name of Randy Rhoads, who 10 years earlier had founded a group called Quiet Riot, before they struck it big with their Mental Health record. Most of the record was written by Rhoads, Daisley, and Osbourne in a live-in rehearsal facility in Monmouth, Wales. The first song written for the record was Goodbye to Romance, and the lyrics to that song expresses mourning over love being lost. This was Ozzy's way of saying goodbye to Black Sabbath, and that he was starting over as a solo artist going forward. The other songs written and recorded as demos, which ended up on the album, were I Don't Know and Crazy Train. Now, I don't want to butcher the producer's last name because I've tried pronouncing the name in the past, but it didn't come to fruition, so I'll just call him Chris T. The same Chris T that produced Judas Priest's Painkiller about 10 years after this one. But Chris T was originally hired to produce the album, but was fired after Osbourne and company seemed displeased with his production. So he turned to engineer Max Norman, who would go on to serve as Osbourne's producer for the next two albums, Diary of a Madman and Bark at the Moon, even though he is uncredited as a producer for this album. Going over the track listing for the Blizzard of Ozz, using the original, along with the 2002 reissue and the 2001 expanded edition. So here I go. Most of the songs were written by Osbourne, Rhoads, and Daisley, except D, which was written by Randy Rhoads, and No Bone Movies, which was written by Ozzy, Randy, Bob, and Lee. But starting off, the album is I Don't Know, clocking in at 5:16. Crazy Train clocks in at 4:52. Goodbye to Romance clocks in at 5:36. D clocks in at 50 seconds. Suicide Solution clocks in at 4:20. Mr. Crowley clocks in at 4:57. No Bone Movies clocks in at 3:58. Revelation Mother Earth clocks in at 6 minutes 9 seconds. Steal Away the Night clocks in at 3:28. That is the original album release of Blizzard of Ozz. Now for the 2002 reissue bonus track, You Looking at Me, Looking at You clocks in at 4:40. And the 2011 expanded edition bonus tracks, You Looking at Me, Looking at You clocks in at 4:15, which was the non-LP B-side version. Goodbye to Romance, which was the 2010 guitar and vocal mix, clocks in at 5:42. And RR, Randy Rhoads' outtake from the Blizzard sessions, clocks in at 1:13. The Blizzard of Ozz is Ozzy Osbourne's debut solo album, initially released in his home country of the UK on September 12, 1980, then released in the US in March of 1981. The tracks Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley were released as singles in 1980, where Crazy Train made it to the top 50 in the UK singles chart and got moderate success in the United States, reaching the top 10 on the Billboard Top Tracks chart and peaked at number 6 on Billboard's Bubbling Under the Hot 100 chart in 1981. Though it got little radio airplay upon its release, Crazy Train became one of Osbourne's signature songs and a staple of classic rock radio stations over the years. Since its release, The Blizzard of Ozz became a commercial success, reaching number 21 on the Billboard 200 and gone 4 times platinum in 1997, something he would not achieve until No More Tears in 2000. In his home country, it was the first of 4 of his solo efforts to attain silver status, which is 60,000 units shipped, in August of 1981. The Blizzard of Ozz would ultimately go 5 times platinum in the United States in 2019. There was a controversial re-release of Blizzard of Ozz in 2002, with original bass and drum tracks replaced by newly recorded parts from Robert Trujillo, who is now in Metallica, and drummer Mike Borden of Faith No More fame. However, the original bass and drum tracks were reinstated for the 2011 release due to public outcry. The 2011 release was certified silver by the BPI in 2013. A box set featuring both reissued albums, The Blizzard of Ozz, Diary of a Madman's 30th Anniversary Deluxe Box Set, was released, featuring both CD reissues, 180-gram LP vinyl versions of both albums, original album only. The 30 years after the Blizzard DVD documentary, over 70 minutes of additional rare live performances and interviews, a replica of Ozzy's cross, and a 2-sided poster. On September 18th, 2020, Osbourne released an expanded edition of The Blizzard of Ozz, including the bonus tracks and outtakes included on previous reissues, i.e. the 2002 and 2011 versions, as well as 7 live recorded songs from the Blizzard of Ozz tour and 1 additional live track. There was also some controversy as it relates to one of Osbourne's songs. The song Suicide Solution has met its share of controversy, most notably the October 1984 suicide of a 19-year-old by the name of John McCollum, who shot himself in the head. His parents alleged that their son had listened to the song immediately prior to killing himself, and they sued Ozzy along with CBS Records for encouraging self-destructive behavior in young people who were especially susceptible to dangerous influences. In his defense, Osbourne stated in court, when the song was being written, the words "wine is fine, but whiskey's quicker" came to him suddenly and were a reflection not on the merits of suicide, but rather on the death of AC/DC singer Bon Scott, who was a friend of Ozzy's, who had recently died of alcohol-related misadventures. Bob Daisley, who claims to have written the majority of the song's lyrics, had stated that he had Osbourne's own substance abuse issues in mind when he composed the song. The lawsuit was dismissed on the grounds that the First Amendment protected Osbourne's right to free artistic expression. My overall rating for this record is an 8 out of 10. In Osbourne's book, he readily admitted at the time The Blizzard of Ozz was recorded, he now felt he would be in direct competition with his former band Black Sabbath. And what better way to kick off a solo run was with The Blizzard of Ozz. The songs I Don't Know, Crazy Train, Goodbye to Romance, and the controversial Suicide Solution all stood out. One heavy record, man. Probably one of Osbourne's best albums to date, along with No More Tears. That concludes this week's Joel Ohms album review. Expect a new episode every single Monday.
No